Tell us about your early life. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I came from a small business family. My dad was a small business operator, so I think I had a desire to follow in his footsteps.
Talk a little about your education.
My education was basically high school. Started off early in marriage. My wife was 17 and I was 18. Started off a little bit tough, so it ruled out some of the higher education opportunities. So I've always said that my education was the school of hard knocks.
Tell us how you met Char.
Met Char at high school. We were both sophomores in high school, met at a Halloween party, and it was love at first sight, and 47 years later we're still together.
Your family grew quickly, 7 kids. Talk a little about some of the challenges you faced starting a business with such a large family.
Probably the largest challenge was being the primary bread earner in the family. My wife stayed home and watched the 7 children, so that didn't leave her much time to contribute financially. So to start a business and to provide, it required a lot of hours. I struggled financially pretty much all my life. It's always been an uphill battle to invest more, accomplish more, to build more, and with that causes a lot of sacrifice. The most difficult time of my life was start a business at 26, and 14 years later, after building it up to 35 employees, the company failed. And through that failure, it was probably the greatest life lesson that I could ever accomplish. Had a chance to reflect for a couple of years to see what I did wrong, how I could do things better. Then I started this company.
Tell us your philosophy about risk.
Oh boy, that's a good one. Risk is something that we all have to face one way or another, if it's asking a girl out for a date or if it's rolling the dice on an idea. I believe in calculated risk. So you look at the ups and the downs and financial risk, and you evaluate from that, and then you push forward.
As GH Companies has grown, have you ever stopped to pinch yourself?
Yeah, I probably pinch myself every day. It's truly been a blessing to be able to build a company, to be able to see people flourish in employment, and also to see my children that have come alongside me to work and build a company.
Your title is CFO of GH Companies, but how do you really see yourself within the company?
When I turned 60, which was 6 years ago, I made the decision to empower my 2 sons, and they became presidents of the 2 corporations. At that time, it was really my goal to become more the mentor of the business, to mentor my sons, and to step back a little bit. And so that's been my role, as more of a consultant, more of a mentor.
Tell us about GH Companies today. What are the greatest successes and what are the biggest challenges?
The greatest success, I believe, is our diversification. It's always been my heart's desire to say yes to everything. So if a customer has a need, I'd like to say we can do that, we can help. We've invested in many different processes. We've gotten involved with pretty much any production discipline of design. So now we can pretty much help anyone with graphics design through implementation. The challenge really is finance. We are in a business that requires state-of-the-art technology. We are always investing. 2 years ago, we threw away about $1.5 million worth of technology because it outlived its life, and its life was only 7 years. So yeah, finance is a big part of our business.
You have encouraged others to take an active role in giving back to the community. What inspired your desire to take a leadership role in giving back?
Oh, that's easy. As a young businessman, I think at about 30 years old, I met someone. He was a Christian businessman. His name was Ken Enders. And there's something about him. He was the guy that spoke things, but then he walked out what he spoke. And he inspired me. He inspired me both to become a man of faith, but also he gave me principles on how I could operate as a more successful business person. And he also showed that as we were blessed, it's our responsibility to invest back. And the things he said was time, talent, and treasure. So as you have more of those things to offer, you give that back to your community.
What advice would you give someone just starting out in business?
To have a plan. Most people, they go into business and they go into business without a plan, without a direction, and they go into business thinking that one discipline is enough, and it's not. You really need to have the discipline of sales and marketing, of finance, of production, of engineering, of R&D. All those disciplines have to come together to make a successful company.
Where do you see GH Company's opportunities in the next 10 years?
GH Companies has always been a dream. It's always been a vision. In fact, there's 3 principles that we've tried to build the business on: vision, delegation, and accountability. The vision that I see is a company that will double in size in the next 10 years, that will create twice as many opportunities for employment, that will service twice as many people. I see Graphics House Companies as being a business that really can make a contribution to other businesses' success.